This video, taken many years ago, highlights the Queen's effort trying to save her pervy son from the Epstein client disclosure.
Are you kidding me? The Queen is rolling down the ramp like it's nothing.
Look at the agility. That's royalty with momentum right there.
And boom, she attacks the independent media that have been talking about the Epstein saga. That, of course, were prevented from doing so because of online censorship. The corporate media as well, when they were getting closer to talking about this story, always faced an overwhelming amount of pressure, being told, nope, no, you're not. As, of course, I felt the pressure many years ago. I mean, I've been talking about this story for 10, 12 years now, and we have faced a lot of censorship because of that, while also being called crazy conspiracy theorists, as now the crazy conspiracy theorists look like they were right all along, as we are in a very weird, precarious situation, as it definitely does look like Thomas Massey's discharge petition will, in just a matter of time, be, quote, officially passed. What's going to be in those files, what's going to be in those disclosures. MTG talked about this situation as Thomas Massey had some very interesting comments from this administration that has previously said, yes, we're going to release a list, and now is saying, what list? As this situation keeps getting stranger and stranger by the day. What is going to happen next? How will this kind of transform politically, as it looks like the Epstein type of disaster situation will be crescendoing sometime soon? What will be the political blowback on all of this? Well, some right-wingers are arguing, listen, we're at war here. You got to do bad things during war. As even Alex Jones came out yesterday and said, yeah, this is a blackmail operation that they're continuing to blackmail, allegedly, the blackmailers, and that is, quote, disgusting. We're going to get into this topic, even though it's probably not the best thing for our channel. But anyway, if you appreciate our efforts to stand against censorship and our attacks on this channel for talking about this issue for so long, I mean, again, 12 years we've been talking about this stuff. Everyone's like, you're crazy. If you appreciate that, subscribe. Click the notification button. We got a lot to get into. As Congressman Thomas Massey, according to Brian Allen, quote, just exposed a hidden Epstein list. He says that the FBI has now been sitting on the files, naming 20 more men tied to Epstein, including high-profile U.S. officials. Now, Alex Jones even yesterday said, it's bigger than you even think it is. There's more powerful people than you would even expect there to be. As there's even now people talking about how Epstein, according to Eric Weinstein, was working on anti-gravity technology. Yes. What? He was also working on a security intelligence firm with the former prime minister of Israel. He was also working on a eugenics operation where he was trying to impregnate 20 women at a time. He was also working on dolls that had cameras. Interesting. As, of course, the guy was pervy, to say the least, and a lot of people, including his neighbor, Howard Lutnick, reported about how he absolutely creeped them out. He got into great detail about that, very surprisingly. But here's what Thomas Massey just had to say here, as it looks like there's going to be some big bombshells released here soon that I think are absolutely worth talking about.
You replied, according to the transcript, there is no credible information that he trafficked them to anyone else. According to victims who cooperated with the FBI in that investigation, these documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO of Barclays Bank, who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million.
Maybe Harvey Weinstein, maybe others. There's still a lot of very pervy, predatory, awful monsters in Hollywood that, by the way, never got held accountable for their egregious actions against children. Look at Nickelodeon. My God, you want to go down the rabbit hole of their like weird foot fetish type of nonsense and insanity that they were kind of doing? My goodness. Like, you start going down the Nickelodeon Disney rabbit hole, especially when it comes to all of the abuse that they are alleged to be related to children. Goodness, like it is crazy, especially with some of the hidden messages amongst a lot of the Disney programming.
One royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada.
Listen, Thomas Massey talked to the victims, and he said, listen, if the FBI is not going to release the client list, I will. So far, he hasn't. But that was kind of, it looks like a last-minute type of kerfuffle. Now, obviously, what happened to Epstein here is just a travesty of injustice. It is a cover-up amongst a cover-up. And when we look at every which way the situation was handled, especially with what Bill Barr talked about, because there was 2 incidences where Epstein allegedly tried to take himself out. The first incident, which a lot of people believe was his cellmate beating him up and trying to take his life, was extremely suspicious. Bill Barr was like, no, he absolutely tried to take his own existence. What? And then there was a second incident when he was on protective watch to make sure that he wouldn't be able to self-inflict any harm on himself, and then he inflicted self-harm. And CBS News confirms this was a forensics disaster afterwards. No evidence markers, items removed. Epstein's body was gone before inspection. Key witnesses not interviewed. Cameras not working. And as a lot of people say, this wasn't an investigation. It was a cleanup, cover-up effort. And then even when this FBI released the tapes, they released a tape, and they didn't tell everyone, oh, yeah, we edited out 3 minutes out of it. Yeah. Oh, no, that was a security glitch, that was just a security camera glitch with old security cameras, according to Pam Bondi, which was a lie. Why are you lying to us about this? Why were 9 cameras not working? 9? Really? That is unprecedented and absolutely just unbelievable. Let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And there deserves to be some real justice. Now, before talking about MTG and this kind of inevitable discharge petition, which is probably going to be released soon, and what's going to be potentially in there, we wanted to tell you about thebestpoliticalshirts.com, as of course we created a lot of shirts surrounding this particular topic, and we got censored and banned for doing so. You can still support us because we brought the t-shirt store back on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and if you like the topic that we're talking about and the shorts that were previously banned, you just type in Epstein right here into the search bar, and you get a whole bunch of really nice Epstein t-shirts and hats that are pretty funny and pretty hilarious. We have this one now that says, where's the Epstein client list? This is the classic. Epstein didn't off himself. That's not what it says, but, YouTube's stuff. Anyway, this is a great one that I really like. And it says, things I'll never see in my life. Flying pigs, unicorns, dinosaurs, and the Epstein Maxwell client list. Yeah. But now with this discharge petition, who knows? The shirt that I'm wearing right now, Trust God, Not Government, also a great one. If you want to find it, you type in God right here into the search bar. Boom. You type in anything you feel discontent about. We probably have a t-shirt that you could express yourself with. As of course, this is the perfect form of being able to do your lazy form of activism, to engage your local community members in a civil, interesting conversation that I think is more important to have than ever. Thebestpoliticalshirts.com. The link is down in the description below. Go out there, support your own individual type of truths, and do some activism. It's fun. This one right here highlights a lot of the kind of, this is our latest shirt. Again, we have a lot of great ones. I just like this one that I'm wearing because I always get a good response from people after wearing it. Now, listen, clearly a big cover-up. And this administration going into this and delving headfirst into it is like delving headfirst into concrete. Like, what are you doing? You're self-inflicting harm on yourself. And that's what we said from the very beginning. If you care about Trump, if you care about this administration, there needs to be some kind of better effort here than you literally pounding your head in the pavement. I think that's the perfect example to describe what in the world's going on here. There's no other way. Boom. Boom. What are you doing? What are you doing? This makes no sense. It doesn't add up. It's frustrating because it's like you're ruining your political capital. A lot of people on the right are saying, no. And I think they're denying the obvious reality of it. But you're also giving the left a killer layup. You're giving the left just an easy way to win political brownie points, to win influence, and to undermine your agenda and your trust amongst the general public. As now, the Daily Mail writes about how this Epstein bomb is set to drop. They're talking about the discharge petition, saying, quote, no one wants to defend Trump. 100 GOP reps to mutiny. Congressman warms. A Democratic congressman claimed that a staggering number of his GOP colleagues are ready to defy Donald Trump over the release of the Epstein Files because they don't want to defend someone who hurt children. California Representative Eric Swalwell said on Wednesday he had discussed the issue with a lot of House Republicans and that their effort to stop a vote to release the full documents are fading. It's coming to an end, guys. I've spoken to a lot of House Republicans this week, and they're confined that Trump's support is fading. Now, is that the actual case here? So far, Donald Trump has been able to galvanize enough votes, enough support, specifically from Speaker Mike Johnson saying, stop talking about the Epstein list. We're not doing the discharge position. So far, that has worked. But now, as MTG notes, this situation is getting a little bit more complicated and a little bit too on the nose.
The Jeffrey Epstein files, wanting to release those. I know Democrats have also been calling for that, a few other Republicans as well. The Democrats are accusing Speaker Johnson of delaying the swearing in of Arizona's Democratic Congresswoman-elect because she would give the last vote needed to release those Epstein files. I'm wondering, the Speaker, for his part, he has denied that. He said it's because of the shutdown. Have you spoken to him? Do you think she should be sworn in right away?
Well, I'll say it like this. I can't conclusively say if that's why the House is not in session, but the House should be in session. And the House should be in session for many reasons. We have appropriation bills that need to get passed. There is a new Democrat that's been elected that does deserve to be sworn in. Her district elected her. We have other bills that we need to be passing. And if it's to avoid the discharge petition, why drag this out? That is going to have 218 signatures. And so I say go ahead and do it and get it over with.
Rip the Band-Aid off. And that's what we said from the very beginning. And whether you agree with MTG or not here, listen, I think it's only a matter of time. And whether you agree with Swalwell, I don't know. Swalwell, he's kind of leftist Democrat kind of propagandist. We don't know if he's just saying it to say it or if this is actual the case here of the Republicans kind of moving away from Donald Trump saying, just release all the files. I think we have reached a kind of key crescendo moment where people are like, just release the files. And it's so important because it has undermined so much. And people don't like to talk about the significance of it, but I think we need to. Especially what's happening to Charlie Kirk. A lot of the reasons why people don't believe the official version of events and they don't believe the FBI is because the FBI just blatantly lied to us about the Epstein files. And because we have a scenario and situation where it's like, yeah, they're just lying to us about this. Why wouldn't they lie about that? That's the type of thinking that's going around all around the internet, especially even around right-wing circles where it's like, please, just give us the truth. Now, Swalwell and Kash Patel actually went on it. And again, the left is trying to make this all about Donald Trump. And again, Donald Trump, according to the victim's lawyers, or according to Virginia Giuffre, is exonerated here. Now, there's an argument here that people are making saying the Democrats cooked the books. The Democrats cooked it, and I'm like, okay, if they did, why didn't they release it when Trump was running for the presidency of the United States in order to derail and destroy Donald Trump's ability to run for the presidency of the United States? You're telling me the Democrats were playing 4D chess and just waited for this particular moment to release those documents about that? They had an ace up their sleeves, but they waited until he got in political office? No. The gloves were off during the last election cycle. Shots were being fired. 700 years was what Donald Trump faced. He was a convicted felon. He was facing serious jail time. And you're telling me the Democrats could have got rid of him with the Epstein stuff then and there, and then they didn't? That just doesn't make sense. What makes sense is what Alex kind of described yesterday, and something that he described as something that makes him personally sick, is that Trump is now using the kind of blackmail for his own political agenda. And there's some people on the right that are saying, look, this is war. We have to. If it helps Donald Trump, helps his agenda, especially during this kind of soft, cold civil war that we're all involved in, do it. I don't care. I don't agree with that argument. because I see this as more of a politically detrimental cause than a lot of people understand it to be. From my own personal opinion, from my own personal perspective, this is far more of a severe scenario and situation than a lot of people on the right don't want to make it out to be. And I think if the more we just don't take it seriously, the more we just give the left a layup. I don't want to give the left a layup, but you're giving them a layup. You're like, hey, score. Look, we're gonna be off here. We're gonna be off here doing whatever. This was an interesting action between Swalwell and Kash Patel.
Oath to tell the truth. Did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein Files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein Files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the
It's a simple
Attorney's
question.
file.
Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein Files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is
painstakingly
simple.
Who
Did you
can
tell
be-
the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out if
Yes
you're going
or
to mock
no,
me?
Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it
Don't
sounds
wanna
like
do
you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein Files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's name-
country and the number of pedophiles that are
Director,
illegally
reclaim my
harbored
time,
in your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaim
I'll
my
work
time.
with you on that. Do
Regular
you
order,
wanna
Mr.
work with us
Chairman.
on that?
Director, reclaim
I
my
belongs to
time.
the gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files?
Question
Yes or no?
has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt.
Yeah, Kash is in a tough position because according to everything we're hearing, it's Bondi that's being like, listen, this is what you're gonna do, and Kash is like, I guess I have to take one for the team. I guess I have to fall on the sword. And again, there are news reports saying that the FBI was going through all the files and that they redacted Donald Trump's name out of them. That's the allegation. We'll see if it's true. We're going to see what's going to happen with this discharge petition. But listen, Epstein, far more of an interesting figure. I mean, we're talking about Maxwell knowing how to fly helicopters, how to run submarines. We're talking about them working on eugenics operations, them being at Harvard, them being a part of some of the biggest type of scientific projects in our nation, secret scientific projects, working one-on-one with Bill Gates, the guy who thinks there's too many people in this world. And now anti-gravity technology, according to Eric Weinstein. Holy cow.
Jeffrey Epstein conducted a conference called Confronting Gravity. I don't know who Jeffrey Epstein was, but I would certainly bet money that he was a product of at least one or more elements of the intelligence community.
The CIA, the FBI.
Those are ours, right? Department of Homeland Security has some of this stuff.
Foreign stuff too, foreign governments as well.
Geospatial intelligence has some of this. It's a large network. I'm talking about people like David Grush. I'm talking about people potentially like David Fravor. I'm talking about people like Jake Barber.
All these people related to UAP, UFO type of disclosures, whistleblowers.
Talking about scientists like Leo Szilard. Imagine if Leo Szilard didn't know that the Manhattan Project was going on, or Jack Raper, a journalist who broke a story. These people all think that they're doing their jobs. I desperately want to know why Jeffrey Epstein knew so much about my work. And I want to know why he was connected to my graduate program. I was in the Harvard Mathematics Department. Jeffrey Epstein was absolutely connected to the Harvard Math Department. I want to know why.
Epstein had his own office at Harvard, by the way. Larry Summers, his best buddy, running Harvard as well. Where's the disclosures around those dudes?
Oh, was he connected to that department?
You're pushing me to say things I'm not going to say.
Okay, so clearly clearly he knows a lot more than he's letting on to. That's big.
I'm curious. I'm not trying to push you out.
I understand,
Yeah.
but I'm just not going to do it. I'm saying that anybody who wants to
Harvard connected to it, intel agencies as well.
You said he was connected to the math
the
department.
Harvard Mathematics Department.
How did you know he was connected?
You can Google it. You could Google it right now. This is not, I can point at all sorts of stuff that's hidden in plain sight.
So I'll take your word for it. And the assertion that I'm picking up on is that Jeffrey Epstein was planted in your world to keep...
I'm not saying he's planted. I don't know who he was. I don't know who ran him. He certainly was not a financier in any standard sense.
Really?
That was a cover story, yes.
The way that we know Jeffrey Epstein...
But he did move billions of dollars. Billions with a B. Now, what was he doing at that math department? What was he doing with all this anti-gravity research and researchers? What was he doing with Bill Gates? That's a question that I think still remains on everyone's mind. What do you think? I hope we get some answers, because I think, listen, it's far more sinister than just, oh yeah, he was just, taking babies and children and giving them to rich people to do whatever they wanted to with. That's already awful. There's still more stuff. We're still I think we only know like 5% of the story. I want to know 95% of the story. If you do too, share this video. I want to be here if it wasn't for you guys watching, sharing this video, having an interest in it. I know overall interest has waned, but I think this is an issue that is like the Titanic moving towards the iceberg. It's going to hit. It's going to hit soon. Prepare accordingly. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearchange.